Queen, the woman they forgot, but God remembered. Age is not a challenge. They used to call her Queen, but to the world she looked like anything but royalty. Queen was 24 when she got married. She had dreams of a big family, laughter in her home, children calling her Mama. But year after year her womb remained silent. No child, no sign, no hope. At first, her husband stayed. He tried. They prayed. They waited. But after 7 years, when the hope turned into shame and whispers, he walked away. "A woman who cannot give me children is not a wife to me," he said. And just like that, Queen was abandoned. In her small Zambian village, there's no hiding from eyes, and Queen became the village joke. That's the barren one. She's cursed. She wasted her youth. She had no husband, no children, no job, no land, just an old mat in a borrowed hut and a tin plate she used to beg. But what they didn't know was, God was still watching her. Queen cried. She questioned, "Why me, Lord?" But in her tears she never cursed God. She still sang quietly in the dark, "Baba, you are good. Even now you are good." One dry Tuesday morning, a white Land Cruiser arrived in the village. A group of missionaries stepped out, nurses, builders, and a young doctor named David from Ghana. They were setting up a charity hospital to help the poor and forgotten. Queen watched from the roadside, dust on her legs, a cracked plastic bowl in her hands. Most people ignored her, but not David. He greeted her. He asked her name. He didn't flinch at her tattered wrapper or bare feet. "My name is Queen," she said shyly. "Then you are royalty," he smiled. It had been 19 years since anyone said her name with kindness. Days turned into weeks. David saw Queen often, sweeping around the church, helping women carry buckets, comforting sick children at the gate. There was something in her that reminded him of strength. Quiet, deep strength. One evening, David asked the village pastor, "Who is that woman?" The pastor sighed. "Ah, that's Queen, barren, abandoned. She's suffered much." David nodded slowly. He saw something different. He saw a woman God was not done with. A few months later, whispers filled the village again, but this time for a different reason. "The doctor? That doctor wants to marry Queen." "Marry who? The old barren beggar? This must be a joke." But it was no joke. David proposed to her under a tree, holding her hands, looking into her eyes. "Queen, I don't care about your past. I care about who you are now. I believe God brought me here, for you." Queen wept like a child. "But I am too old," she whispered. David smiled. "So was Sarah." They got married. She was now 51 years old. She didn't expect anything. She wasn't asking for a child anymore. But heaven had another plan. 6 months into their marriage, Queen started feeling tired, dizzy, weak. She thought it was her age, but David said, "Let's run tests." The nurse called him into the room, smiling. "Doctor, your wife is pregnant." Silence. He thought she was joking. "No, I'm serious. The barren woman is carrying life." David cried. Queen fainted. The whole village fell silent for a week. The woman they called useless. The woman they rejected. was now a mother. At 52, she gave birth to a healthy baby boy. She named him Promise, because God had promised and fulfilled. They said her time had passed. They said her story was over. They said she was finished. But God said, I'm just getting started. You, listening to this, maybe they've told you it's too late, that you're too old to marry, too late to start a business, too old to dream again. But hear me, God does not work by age. He works by purpose. When your moment comes, it won't matter how old you are, because age is not a challenge for the God who never forgets. Final verses for the story. Isaiah 60 verse 22. When the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen. Genesis 21 verse 2. Sarah became pregnant and bore a son to Abraham in his old age, at the very time God had promised him. Job 42 verse 2. I know that you can do all things. No purpose of yours can be stopped. If this story inspired you, please subscribe, like, and share it with someone who needs a little hope today. Your support keeps these uplifting stories alive. Thank you for being part of this journey.